Hello, Illustrator Julie Olson here, talking you through how to draw Baby Yoda with my How to Draw series. So, the first thing you need to do is look at these steps. Step number 1 is just a little rectangle. If you see up in this left corner, we're talking about them. 2, you add something. 3, you add something. Everything you add is drawn with a little darker line on each step. That doesn't mean you draw the lines darker. You should draw all of these lines very lightly. So let's start with step number 1, which is just a rectangle. You draw it very, very lightly. And then the next step you're going to draw just as lightly with your pencil. It's an arc at the bottom and the top of that rectangle. Now I just made that bottom arc a little bit too small. Sorry. Then you go ahead and make 2 triangles for the ears. If you see, step number 3. And they're kind of tilted triangles, so they're just touching on one corner. And step number 4 is Baby Yoda's body, which is somewhat just like a cylinder. Then we're going to add his collar. These are kind of wedge shapes, and they should connect up by the edges of the rectangle, which I just messed up one, so I am going to erase that line and bring it back up to the edge of that rectangle, because his head almost just goes into his collar. I'm going to do the start of his arms with a little half rectangle on each side. And then the cuffs of his big sleeves are another few rectangles. Anyone can draw, I'm telling you. If you can draw rectangles and squares, you can draw. I'm going to do a U shape upside down for one hand and right side up for the other hand, and then stick a little thumb on each side. We'll come back to all of these later and do an outline. Now we're going to do a little nose at the bottom of that rectangle, one eye and the next eye, which they're kind of almond shaped, pointed ovals. You can think of them as an arc on the bottom and the top. Try and make them big. Now the next step is starting the outlines, and you're going to want to draw these outlines much darker than you've been drawing the lines underneath. So outlines are next, but we are going to take a little bit of time and erase some of these underlying lines. We're not erasing them all the way. We are just very lightly taking the eraser over them so that they blend out of the background a bit. Now if you do your outlines in pen or ink or a Sharpie, then it's really, really easy to erase these pencil lines afterwards. Right now I am just using an erase tool on my iPad to lighten some of these lines while you erase yours. As I said, if you decide to use a Sharpie, then you can just erase all of these afterwards, and you can erase really hard with a pencil eraser. So here we go, lightening up some of the lines, especially some of those inside lines like the rectangle in the face. Lighten those up a lot. We're going to go ahead and outline our Baby Yoda. I'm going to start with his head first, the outline of his head. You have to kind of think of his shape. So if you look at my example on the left, they don't follow the exact straight lines. You want to make them look like ears, give them a little scraggly bit of hair on the top, come out and in, and give him more Yoda-like ears. Now on the chin, it kind of goes in. He's got a cheek, chin, cheek, all the way around to the other ear. So make sure you make that chin. Now here are the inner ear lines, and then we are going to work on Yoda's eyes. Outline the first, and then if you want to give him those big baby eyes, do 2 little circles inside, and then color in the rest, but leave those circles white. Same thing on the other eye. Make sure those 2 little circles are towards the left of the eye. You can do them either way, towards the right or towards the left, but make sure they're both towards the same direction, or else he will look cross-eyed. We're going to get his eyebrows here, and then his little nose. For his mouth, It's just 4 simple lines. Now it looks like his nose is a little bit low to me, so I am going to fix that in a minute. His collar, follow the lines except add a little wrinkle to him. Okay, so we're fixing his nose here. Just going to raise it just a little bit. I think my demonstrated drawing over on the side looks better, but here we go, drawing his cuffs. Make a little wrinkle. And follow the outside line of his body, cape. I'm going to work on his other arm here. I like to make a little wrinkle in the cuffs. And then finally, his hands. Now I think he only has 3 fingers. I don't remember for sure, but that's what we're making here. Alright, so here you go, his little creases in his nose. Do 3 and then 4 on top. And there you have Baby Yoda. He'd probably look even better with a little bit bigger ears. I don't think I did my triangles quite big enough for his ears. And I made his body a little bit long in this version. But the more you practice, the better your Baby Yoda will be. Enjoy! I'd love to see yours.